Hello there, welcome to lesson 3 in the Piano in 10 lesson series. Today we're going to be focusing on how to play notes, which means we're going to be using our fingers a lot. What you have learnt from lesson 1 and lesson 2 will come into use and be used in this video 3. So, as always, we have 3 focus points. They are going to be broken chords, major and minor. We haven't looked at minor yet, but it's very easy and I'll explain it. Broken chords, then we're going to use broken chords as part of your how to play notes, and you're going to become more familiar with the piano. The second thing we're going to look at is the difference between staccato and legato, and you'll be using scales and chords with those methods. They are a kind of articulation, which is a big subject in itself. And then we're going to be looking at rhythm, and I'm going to give you a freedom to use what we have learned from the previous 2 focus points in this video, plus from the previous video itself, number 2, and you're going to have a freedom to use your fingers in a rhythmic way. This is going to open up your soul almost, and you're really going to play the piano how you want to play it, which is really, really important. I feel that many teachers, in my experience anyway from conversations, they focus too much on the score, on the notes, and you have to play the notes exactly as they are played. We will come to that, and you will come to that in your own life too on the piano, but for the time being, to create a very, very strong foundation, you're going to discover yourself, and you're going to discover and develop a freedom in your fingers which comes from the inside. It's that simple. So, part 1, simply broken chords. So, what is a chord? From the previous video, we looked at something called triads. A triad has 3 notes in it, from the word triad. And we found from the major scale, which we looked at, major scale, we looked at how to create a major triad by taking the first and the third and the fifth from the major scale. What we didn't look at is how to make a minor triad. Minor only refers to the third. It doesn't refer to any other number, only the third. So when we say we're playing a minor chord, what we're doing is we are taking the third, the focus is on the third of the major scale, 1, 2, 3, in any key. There are 12 keys. If you don't remember this, you must go back and review the previous videos. I can't repeat everything in the same video, in every video. So we take the third, the focus is on the third, and we minor that note, which means we go down a half step. That is what we are doing. A minor means you take the third and you go down a half step. And if you remember again from the previous video, half step is the next note physically, like this, because that was one of your practice techniques to do this. And a whole tone, or a whole step, or a whole step, or a whole tone is 2 half steps. So that would be here, 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 and that created, if you remember, the whole tone scale, which sounds very interesting. So, review that if necessary. What we're going to do is take major chords, major triads, and minor chords, minor triads. The same. A triad is a chord type, but it's only a chord which has 3 notes in it. So a triad can actually refer to any kind of chord with only 3 notes in it. Well, we can basically say, to save confusing you, that a triad always refers to a major chord or a minor chord. So we can call it a major triad or a minor triad. We can do the same thing in the key of F. C, D, E, F. 1, 3, 5 from the major scale. You should have been playing the major scales and the major triad. And we'll make a minor triad by taking the third and dropping it a semitone. A semitone or a half step, same thing. Whole tone, semitone, half step, whole step. Just different terminology. I think the difference is literally British or American. Major, minor. Now associate a feeling inside with the sound, a tonal quality. This is called a tonal quality. A major chord sounds simple, standard, happy, we could even say. It's a bright sound. Now a minor chord sounds a bit more serious, maybe sad sometimes. C minor up to F minor. Sounds very serious, and then the major, everything suddenly becomes happy. I'm just playing the notes of F triad, I'm just mixing them around a bit. C minor, suddenly it becomes sad again, F minor. C major. So it's a very big difference, and you must create an emotional connection so that you can detect the major or the minor triad, the tonal quality, immediately. So that it helps so you can detect it immediately because it makes you a better musician. It also helps you with listening to songs so you can learn them by ear, and it helps you to know what you should play on the piano when you feel this inside, because your fingers are only an extension of your emotions, right? And if you want to sound sad, you'll play a minor. If you want to sound happy, you'll play a major. Simple as that. Tonal quality. So, looking at broken chords and how we can use these as ways of playing notes, what we're going to do is really focus on the fingers today. Don't forget, you don't have two hands, you don't have 5 sets, you don't have 2 sets of 5 fingers. You simply have to think about having 10 vehicles, we call them fingers, and you're going to create sounds based on what you feel inside. That's the logic that we need to come to the piano with. So we're going to take broken chords, we're going to use not a left hand and our right hand, we are simply going to use 10 vehicles. You must train the brain through the repetition of a positive ideal that you don't have 2 hands and you don't have 10 fingers separated by 2 hands. It's not the right way to think, because when you start to think in that way, which is what you are normally trained to think, people say I'm right-handed, I'm left-handed, everything's very separated. But on the piano you must bring them together as just being just a connection. You need to bring the 2 hands together so that you connect them in one whole sound, which just involves 10 vehicles. And I say vehicles because what the idea is that they are transporting your feelings. That's why they're called vehicles in my philosophy. So don't think about left hand, right hand. Don't think that my left hand is weaker than my right hand. It's not. Both of your hands and all the fingers on each hand are as strong as each other. You can carry a shopping bag in your left hand, you can carry a heavy suitcase in your right hand. Your arm may be weaker, but we're talking about the fingers here. So you're going to take broken chords, which means that you break, very simply, the chord. At the moment we only know, and we will only know for the time being, because chords can become a bit complicated, and since you are a beginner I'm not going to go into other chords yet, so forget them completely. We're looking at only the major chord, the major triad, and the minor chord, the minor triad. A triad is a kind of chord, so I can use both words interchangeably at this stage. C minor, C major, F minor, and C again. What we're going to do is break them. Now what does that mean? It simply means that we play the notes individually. So we have broken the block chord, and we've broken it into individual components, the first, the third and the fifth. This is how you need to see the piano, as numbers. 1, 3, 5. If you are looking at the major scale of C, all you need to do is to train your eyes, but not even just your eyes, because you're going to be playing the piano with your eyes closed most of the time, or looking away and playing on your internal piano when you're not at the piano physically, of course, is you're going to be focusing on number 1, number 3 and number 5. So you're thinking about 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5 all the time. You're not thinking about C, E, G, C, E, G. It's not the right way to think. You're just simply thinking about 1, 3, 5. It doesn't matter if the note is black or white, because there are some keys, like this one here, which is C, D, E, F, sharp. Sharps go up, flats go down. We'll worry about that in another video, but for now, sharps go up. So this key has 5 black notes, as you would say, normally in it. And when you play the triad, 1, 3 and 5, it's all black notes, as you would say. But it's not. It's not a black note. And it's not a white note. It's simply 1, 3 and 5 in the key of F sharp. F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't matter if they're black or white. So you want to be simply thinking, I'm playing 1, 3, 5 in the key of C. Or I'm playing 1 minor third, 5 in the key of C. 1, 3, 5 in the key of F, 1 minor third, 5 in the key of F. That's the logic. So we're going to break them, and we're actually going to use that as a technical exercise using all 10 fingers. In other words, in normal philosophy, in normal piano lesson terminology, left hand, right hand. Don't think about anything in that way. When I say use both hands, in other words, what I'm saying is whatever we do in our right hand, you must be able to do in your left hand. You must develop them at the same time at this stage of your learning. So let's use both hands, and you're going to play simply C, E, G, and then the octave. And then come down again. Now don't worry if you're playing the notes together like this. Don't worry about that yet. It's not a problem. Just simply recognise this position on the piano. You're playing 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3. Now do it on F. And just get used to that feeling of your hands. Don't even look at your hands. At the moment, I'm looking at my two cats fighting with each other on the sofa. I'm not even paying any attention to the piano. So, you're going to do this simple technique with a major triad. And if you want to take it further, which I recommend before you watch video 4, jump up. Now don't go up too high because the left hand becomes too twisted. See, I mean, I couldn't even play that very comfortably. My left hand is twisted at about 45 degrees or more. It's awful, very uncomfortable. So the left hand normally deals with, I would say, up to the C above middle C. This is the maximum I would go. I mean, up here it starts to become uncomfortable. So I wouldn't go above this C, which is above middle C with the left hand, in the same way that you wouldn't go 2 C's down with the right hand. C, middle C is here. This is 1 C lower, that's okay, I can deal with that. But the next C down here, awful, I can't touch it. So be realistic in what you're doing. So I would start simply with 2 C's below middle C for the left hand, and then the next C above, which is here, with the right hand, and simply do this. Like this. Once you've done that with the C major, try with the C minor. And if you want to go further, try to go down also, like this. And then you need to put, when you're going down, you want to use the fingers which are currently on the notes as pivot points, which means you come down, keep them there as long as possible, as your thumb in your left hand and your let me do it 1 octave lower so you can see on the piano itself. You're coming down, keep your little finger in the left hand and the thumb on the right hand on, and then keep them there as long as possible, just to help you guide your thumb and little finger. Okay? Oh, I can't do it down here. I have a my camera stand is here, so my left hand has to be careful to not hit the camera stand. So apologies for not playing as perfectly as I should down here. So going up, you keep your left thumb and right little finger on the note as long as possible, and it just helps you to bring your finger 1 up again like this. And the same logic happens like this when you come down. Try to do that with your eyes closed, don't even look. Then go up to F. In that way. Now, we've had a look at broken chords, major and minor. We're going to move on to the second part, which is a topic which is very interesting. It's a very complicated subject, and I would recommend doing a quick Google search, or perhaps after this video, or now, pause and have a look now, about something called articulation. There is, no doubt, an article on Wikipedia, but probably other piano websites too, or even look at other videos online, of course. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail right now because it's beyond the scope of this lesson. In fact, of this course, perhaps. So it's basically called articulation, which is the different things you can do with notes. Now I know that's the name of this video, ways of playing notes, but articulation as a subject and all the different possibilities is a very complex subject because there are so many different options. That's what I'm saying that we don't need to worry about right now. All we're focusing on is broken chords, major, minor, and these two kinds of articulations which I'm going to give you now, which are the most common in music, especially on the piano, and that is staccato and legato. Staccato and legato. Check the spelling of staccato. It took me years to get that right. Staccato and legato are Italian terms, and they mean something. Staccato actually is Italian, and it means detached. And legato means tied together. Now that means something on the piano. You can probably guess what it means. When we play a scale or even a chord, but it's easier to demonstrate it with a major scale. We're going to use a major scale here in the key of C and F. Staccato means detached. That means we don't connect the notes to the next note, which means we don't play like this. We don't play like this. In other words, if we play like this, it is called legato because the notes are tied together. There is no what you may call intervallic or intervening silence. The notes are absolutely together. There's no space between what I'm playing. Normally we would use the pedal to get a legato effect for the broken chords. So what we're going to do is have staccato first, and this is the way I recommend absolutely practicing the piano. People play too much, they use too much pedal. You can find online, you'll see what I mean. If you listen to all the thousands of videos, millions of videos of people performing famous works or just giving lessons, many seem to push the pedal all the time and it becomes very muddy. All the notes they all blend together and it becomes very, very muddy, and it's not very nice. So staccato is what I recommend you focus on for everything that you do, all the chords and everything, even the chromatic scale. When you learn new pieces of music, I recommend just doing everything staccato because it creates a stronger finger power and a control. Much more interesting, staccato. So Italian for detached. You're going to simply play detached, which means you must have a silence between the notes that you are playing. There must be a little space where nothing happens. So like this. And if you do like this, your brain is spending a little bit more time on each finger, on each note. And you can actually get a feeling for what each finger, individually each 10 fingers, are doing. You can just feel them a lot. If you just do this, it's all blended together. It's not so nice. But like this, you can hear the individuality of the notes, and you can feel individually what each individual vehicle is doing. And you can begin to feel where maybe your weaknesses are. Most people have a weak ring finger. I have a weak left ring finger, but I work on that all the time, so it's not so bad now. But I know that it is my weakest finger, and I do my best to remove this. I don't ever think about it. I'm only saying it now in the video because it's a fact. But when I'm playing, I don't let this bother me. So I don't think about this one finger. I don't think about my left hand having a weak left ring finger. I simply just play what I need to play, and through some miracle of subconscious principle, the weakness disappears. So it really is true. So you just don't even think about the weak finger. You just don't think about it at all. You just don't need to think about it. It just does what it has to do when it has to do something. So, staccato. I recommend doing your scales in staccato. And it really helps you feel what's happening. It's very, very nice. Legato, if you wish. You're not putting any space between the notes. But staccato, there is a space between the notes. That's the idea. Now, as I said, these are called articulations, and there are many. Go and have a look. There's others like pianissimo and piano itself, the word piano, and forte, which means gently and softly and strong and powerfully. Lots of different styles, things you can do. What we are going to do now, as part 3 of this ABC, the 3 parts of each video, this is going to be called rhythm. And what you're going to do is take what we have just discussed, broken chords and staccato, legato playing. So if I just recap very quickly and say legato scales, legato chords, you would play with no space between them, like this. Minor, and then major again. Let's go to F major, F triad, F major triad. There's no space between the notes. And if we play it staccato, there is space. It's like you're touching the hot keys and you can't touch them for long because they're just too hot. They're hot potatoes. Minor. It's quite nice, no? So, big difference between staccato and legato. I recommend staccato for everything, but do know that you can do it in legato as well. For this part on rhythm, what you're going to do is, I'm going to give you the opportunity now to go away from this video and practice by mixing the staccato, legato, scales and broken chord topics, and you're going to play them in your own rhythms and your own styles, and you're going to mix them together. This is going to give you an absolute freedom on the piano. You must spend a week at least before you go on to video 4, unless you're impatient, but don't be impatient. This will begin to prove to you, because I always told you that in video 1, when I dispelled the myths about needing lots of hours and big hands and all these different things, all the lack of confidence that adults have, and they ask too many questions, many problems. What I'm proving to you, and what you will end up seeing yourself, is that through a mix of broken chords, legato, staccato, a knowledge of triads, minor triads, the names of the notes, whole tones, half tones, all these things, and what we're going to do in the next videos, once you've put all this together, your hands, which may take 2, 3, 4 months, will be at your beck and call, as we say in English, at your beck and call. They will do anything your subconscious or your heart demands of them. It will only happen if you follow these videos step by step, and you spend a long time after each video, many hours each day or at least each week, practicing and repeating, doing it with your eyes closed and playing on your internal piano. It is possible. So, rhythmically, broken chords, staccato, legato. Everything I demonstrate will be staccato, unless I use the pedal, which means it will be legato, because I like to use the pedal to make sure there's no silence between the notes. By pressing the pedal, I can take off my hands, and it's nice. So the legato can last longer. Without the pedal, of course, the pedal stops. Without the pedal, the note just stops immediately. So I can't create an arpeggio. I can't create a legato because there's a big silence there, you see. So rhythmically, this is your choice. I can't teach you something about rhythm. All you can do is listen to rhythm and feel rhythm. So how do we do that? Let's see what I do. What I'm going to do is take, let's begin with some scales. I'll take C major, and we'll use F major, and we're going to create a rhythm. So we're going to mix what we've just discussed and create a different rhythm. So we might go like this. Something like that. You're just simply look what I'm doing here. I'm playing the minor. Up to F. C major. See, I'm just literally playing whatever comes from inside. My fingers are following. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. No idea. Minor. Just do that how you want. In anything like that. You're basically creating music. You're learning and developing a connection between your heart and your soul and what you feel and your fingers. They are following what you feel. It's that simple. You're not worrying about, oh, my finger is too weak. Ignore it. Just play what you need to play. No excuses. Just play what you need to play. So let's have a look at broken chords in that way. With maybe the pedal. Just keep the pedal down for as long as you stay on the same chord. It's okay because nothing is mixing. Because you're playing the same chords. So let's do a similar thing. Pedal down, or do it in staccato, your choice. Broken chords in legato with a bit of rhythm. So how are we going to do that? We can do anything on the piano using, not knock to the camera there, see what I mean? You can play from down here. Let's do a rhythm in legato with the F major, and when we go to F minor, take off the pedal to remove the F major, that major third triad, because we're going to go into F minor, you see? And we can't let them combine. We can't play like this, keep the pedal down, and then go into F minor, because there'll be a clash between the major and the minor, and it won't be very nice. So take the pedal off and put it down again as you transition into F minor. So pedal down, F major with some rhythm. And I'm alternating the fingers. Now I'm just doing octaves. I don't know why I did that. Minor, pedal up, pedal down. My two hands did different things there, did you notice? I felt that I did something different. Major, pedal up, pedal down. Major, pedal up. See? You can just mix it and match it and do what you want to do. It's a very interesting thing to do, a very interesting way of playing. So that's very much simply it for video 3. The title of this video is important, Ways of Playing Notes. And that's what we've done. We've looked at broken chords, major and minor. I've told you the difference between major and minor. Drop the third, a semitone, a half step. Staccato, Italian for detached. There's no connection between the notes. Legato, there is. Practice both, but focus on staccato. Better for the finger independence. Study the subject online in your own time of articulation, and that becomes quite a big subject. Spend a week or so trying different articulations by playing softly and then going. See? millions of things. I don't even know what I'm doing. And then do it in different rhythms. So different things. Even do different things in different hands if you want. Whatever. There's a million different combinations of things that you can be doing. Spend time with them just simply in the key of C and the key of F. The reason I'm giving you F, just so you know, is because that black note is in a very good position to give you a little difficulty, because it's right in the middle of the scale there, and I like that. It's just giving you one little black note to deal with, so it's just enough for now. Black note, as they say, of course. But of course, it's just another position. So I'm using this as a very clever tool to make you realise that it doesn't matter that it's a black note. It's simply number 4 in the major scale of F, and you're gonna have to use it because it's because the black notes are above the white notes. So you have to have a bit of arm movement, a bit of wrist movement to play that note. So very slyly, I'm giving you something to use and develop your wrist technique without focusing too much on it, because you're doing it subconsciously. Excellent. Thank you very much for watching. Think about subscribing. If you're interested in my jazz piano ebook, have a little look at that, and I will look forward to seeing you in video 4. Comments, of course, welcome. Good luck, and bye for now.